Yo, Little Crab here. We are about to start another bossing project. In this one, we're going to be doing 20 Uber feared rotations. I have one Chayula's opened already, and then I remembered I need to make this video. So we've got 20 of them set up. We've got the feared. All of them are rolled 80 quant or higher. One of them got 8 affixes. Only one. A few of them ended up unidentified. They are still rolled 80 plus quant. And we're going to be doing Cortex and the Uber Elder fight as the Uber versions. So I've got the passives here for them. And then we'll be doing some Uber Mavens in a future video with all the writs we farm up. So I'm going to dump everything in this tab here and we will see what we get at the end. So for these Chayula runs, I am wearing a Mage Blood just so I can have a flask with immunity to bleeding on. Because these monsters like to bleed a lot. And before I started this, I did a practice Chayula. And it was really annoying. I nearly failed it because we would get bleeding on us, which made it so we couldn't cast. You have to run backwards, kind of stand around, let the bleeding wear off. I was down to like a few seconds left on the timer. It was real spooky. So I switched to a Mage Blood setup with, like, we're not really getting damage out of it. It just makes it so I can have the immunity to bleeding. And I'm also wearing this when we do the Uber Atziri because the mobs leading up to Uber Atziri all poison. So I have a immunity to poison flask on. The damage ends up being basically the same. Like, we're losing life from our belt, from our Stygian Vise, but we're putting on some quality of life stuff. We get a little more crit from a diamond flask. We get the chaos res, which helps in here, and we get to use bottled faith, so that kind of like makes up for the damage loss. I'm using this setup for everything except for Uber Elder. See if we get any good drops from Chayula. Probably not. Probably not. Oh, another feared invitation. Let's go. So Uber Atziri, pretty simple. The majority of our deaths have come actual mapping part up to Uber Atziri. We are using a flask with immunity to poison because the minions poison. It's very annoying. I'm also using increased area effect so we can get through it quicker. But yeah, these little projectile guys suck. Hit you one too many times and suddenly you can't cast your spell. You're in a pack of them and you can't kill them now. And then I get to the point where I can't cast and I panic. I'm like, well, I'll just run faster and get to the end. Run into a big pack of them. Die. But Uber Atziri herself is very, very straightforward. We do have to move some gear around to not take damage from the reflect. But in this part, You just go to the opposite side of the one holding the mirror, and you're in the clear. You find the mirror on the other side, kill the other two. And it's just that over and over again. So this one has the mirror, we go over here. And that's it. And then she never drops loot, because that's Uber Atziri. We have changed our Eater of Worlds implicit to reduced reflected damage taken. You just roll greater ones, and if you hit the unique enemy in your presence one, perfect. You can do the just flat 50% reduced reflected damage taken. That works too. I just hit this one and stopped rolling. Then we also use the Soul of Bugle for another 50%.
Invitation to a new display of ferocious survivalism.
So for the feared, we switch back to the... I mean, I could do this with the other setup. I just like having the bottled faith to kill the first guy who comes out really quickly. And having the chaos res is nice, but we don't need any of the other stuff. Nothing's poisoning, nothing's bleeding, so you could use the other flash setup for this. Fine, I just like using bottled faith. The feared is actually really simple. You just kill them as they come out. Unless you get hit a few times and can't cast your spells, but basically the only problem is if Atziri stays out too long or Chayula stays out too long. Like, they're the only ones who can really kill us or be annoying, and it's mostly Chayula. When he does the spin phase, it lasts for so long, and he's just Beyblading around, shooting the chaos things out. Everything else is pretty simple.
Safety and wildly delightful desperation.
Okay, we've got most of the trash sifted out of here, but before we look at it, let's add up how much we spent. I personally self-farmed a majority of this, and then the stuff I did purchase, I purchased individual pieces of because I needed an odd amount of, remaining fragments. So I paid a lot less, but if you were to actually run this in a reasonable amount of time, you would be buying them in bulk off of EFT, and they're currently 12 div a piece. And we ran 20. That would be 240 div. That's the way. If you're gonna run these, that's the way to do it. Gonna change how much you make, but I farmed a lot of it over the last few days. It was a fun side project for me. But yeah, our starting point is 240 div. We are not gonna count the nebulous because they are another thing that's hard to sell. Having synth implicits makes it really unique, and just a well-rolled base nebulous isn't worth that much this league, like 50C tops. We're not going to count those. We're not going to count any crazy lucky combination of implicits unless we hit like, you know, a +1 power charge, frenzy charge ring. Basically all this, none of this is going to sell. None of these synth drops are, they're going to sit here. Maybe in 2 weeks one of them is going to sell. We're not going to add them up. So I'm going to start by going over just some of the like big notable drops, and then I'll add up everything at the end. But I've got it separated by which area it dropped from. Top left, Chayula, Atziri, Uber Elder, Cortex, and down here is all the feared. With Chayula, we got pretty lucky with 3 blessings. We weirdly got a Valdo's puzzle box. I'll take it. And a twisted Maven's invitation. Typically the invitations that drop are ones for that boss, so he dropped a bunch of feared ones. Don't care about those, but it dropped a twisted, which is like 1.5 div. 1 div. That's cool. Atziri, we got Atziri's disfavor. 9 div axe. That's sick. Most of the Atziri stuff was absolutely pointless. We got 1 Atziri's acuity, 30C, 40C. I'm just keeping it in there because it's rare. Not valuable, but rare. For Uber Elder, we got 2 Indigons. That's cool. They're like 1 div each. And then we got extremely lucky with the rest of it. We got the 25% exactly Watcher's Eyes. That's dope. These are going 15, my thing will work. 15 div, 14 div a piece. Awesome. We got an Uber in presence. Never seen that. It gives Despair and Enfeeble. That's 7 div. I was blown away. I'm so used to these being absolutely worthless. I didn't know the Uber one gave 2 reservation. I will take it. We also dropped 2 Sublime Visions. That's unheard of. That's extremely lucky. These are 28 div a piece, unidentified. I don't know if I want to identify them. It's scary. It could be worth absolutely nothing. It could be worth 400 div. I don't want to touch it. We got 1 Call of the Void, 60C, and 2 perfect like spell damage modifier Mark of the Shapers, which are like 1 div. We got 4 Garb of the Ephemeral. These will always sell. They go to Animate Guardians. People die with those. These are 1 div apiece. 2 Bottled Faiths. I have not identified them. They are 3 div each. We'll save the identifying. And then the big portion. The Feared. We got how many Maven's Writs? 23 Maven's Writs. 23 and a half. These bad boys are 3.2 apiece. We got 23 and a half of them. We also got more fragments. The red boys are like 1.5 in bulk. We're gonna take the lower price when we actually add things up, but that's nice. A nice little money boost. 4 Orbs of Conflict. 5 Skins of the Loyal, all priced at different points. This one's 60C, this one's 100. The other 2 here are 1 div, and we got 1 that is 4 div. We got 4 Watcher's Eyes. These are from the Feared, so they're just the lower version, which are still 4 div apiece, unidentified. 2 Dying Sun Flasks. 40C. Cool. It's still fun to get it from the Feared. That big loot explosion, it's dope. 1 Bottled Faith. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about these beauties. These are 50C a piece. It's hard to tell if people actually buy them. But yeah, there's like 1 listed for 30C and a bunch listed for like 60, 70. I think 50C a piece is a fair estimate. We did get a Blessing of Chayula from the Feared. That's awesome. And we got 4 Awakened Gems. Not lucky, not terrible. These 2 are worthless. 35 and 10. Awesome. But we got 2 Unbound Ailments, which are like 1.5 div each. That's sick. That is sick. I gotta add it all up, and we'll see if we made any money or not. Okay, without the Maven's Writs, we're at 236 Divine. So this is everything, not counting the things that are worth like Chaos, these beauties, Call the Void, Dying Suns, these super cheap things. Just everything that's like a div or higher can easily be added in here. Now the Maven's Writs, we have 23 apiece. They're 3.2 each. Okay, 3.2 times 23. We're not even going to count the half stack we have there. 73 and a half divines of just Maven's Writ. We will add that on. Plus 73.6. 309 divines. What I've got here of easily sellable items. Not counting any other random sent thing that's gonna sell. Not counting these Val aspects. These are the easy quick flips unidentified things. Now, you're not probably gonna get 2 Sublime Visions. You're probably not gonna get 1 Sublime Vision. So, you take that off, and you're breaking even. These are 28 apiece. So, take off 28, another 28. You're slightly ahead. Is it worth it? I don't think so. I wouldn't say it's a valuable way to spend your time. Now, if you're farming them up yourself, run them. Run the feared. Farm them yourself. It takes longer. This build is built for it. It was fun. It was something to do. I enjoyed doing it. Would I do it again? Probably not. Probably not 20 back to back. Breaking it up. Doing actual stuff, actual mapping in between. That might make it better. But it's so satisfying getting a big loot explosion. Basically, like, running the feared is when it all pays off. You see everything drop. Oh, nice. Atziri blows. It's a waste of 5 minutes. Cortex, same thing. Why are we here? Chayula very rarely gives you anything. It's really Uber Elder and the feared. So I personally would recommend just an Uber Elder farm. That was a lot quicker, a lot more profitable. You get straight to the loot. But you don't get to run the feared. You don't get these Maven threats, which we are going to run all of these, plus a few more. We'll see how many we do. 30, 40, 50, I don't know. We'll see how much I can get through doing Uber Mavens. That'll be the next video. So if you want to see that, like and subscribe and stick around. Until next time, thanks for watching. Ciao.